There you go. Hear me, see me, touch me. You can hear me now, right? Nah, I beat. Surely you can hear me. I might even be peaking, eh? Let me tap. Can you hear me now? I beat. Must have been the YouTube record on the last stream. I edited it out. 8.5 minutes of muted content. And when your content is talking, 8.5 minutes muted. Are we rolling? Mousecat says I blew his Crocs off. Someone had to. I'll tell you what. That company, Crocs. Can you hear me? Is no one? Oh, I hear you. Thank you, JP. Someone's got me. Denise Moniz has put the lyrics of the song in order. It's see me, hear me, feel me, touch me. All right. Thanks, Dennis. I don't know how to live that down. Right. What's the picture like? Is it good quality? Special K on Acid said it was profound. What, the eight minutes muted? Kind of like a test for the modern world. I might put me frames per second up for a minute. Just check it. Just give it a go. If it starts buffaring, let me know. Hang on. Video. Right. Oh, I can't change them apparently. Well, that's a lie. I did last time. Please turn off any outputs. Oh, because I'm going live. Hey? But it's all alright, is it? Nothing wrong with it. Okay, we'll just assume it's all good. Why change something that's not broken? I know it's been a bit of a bore. Thank you for that. I know it's been a bit of a bore. Although I don't think it has really. I can't remember who emailed me, but thank you. Sorry I forgot. But someone said to me, stop being so apologetic about your OBS issues. They said, it's actually quite funny. So I'm going to have to trust that. Give me one in the chat if it hasn't been as bad as I think. It's quite funny. Because earlier you could see me doing all the settings and that. I'll tell you what, if I'd have put this frame to the top, I wouldn't have known it was live. You might have seen my bum and willy. You might have seen my bum fanny. I might have got my bum fanny out and give her a little, you know, a bit of how's your father. I call her, but my bum fanny's trans. Right, let me see if I can work this out for Chrissy. Because Chrissy. Right, that one, entropy pinned, has got to be right on the top. Ah, why is that not working? Nah, man. Nah, man, that ain't right, man. That should be working. What about if I do it here? Why? I mean, this is what it's going to be like for a while, people. But I don't... Right, why? That's got to be that. That's got to be that window. Let's make that a bit smaller. Right. Move to the top. Right, I'm going to refresh entropy. Sorry, people, it's going to be like this for a while because I'm learning things that I don't know how to do. Right, so Chris is donated. Why doesn't that go to the top? I've got that source pinned. Properties. That's right. That's right. Control audio via OBS. I don't even know what that means. Sorry, people. This won't take too long. Sure, that's right. Okay. Right, now let's try and pin Chris's comment. I'm having all sorts of trouble here, people. Sorry, it will be worth it. somewhere along the line, this will be worth it. Right, OB entropy. OBS, comment pinning. Next. Right, I've got all that malarkey. Next. Already got that pinned. Close. Okay. Right, that's good. What's this setup like? No, channel settings. No, that's all good. OBS. Comment pinning. Next. Size, that, everything's right. Show avatar, done that. Next. I'll copy that just in case it's wrong. Progress saved, close. Now go live. Is it nice? Listen to this. This is terrible content, isn't it? This is still me apologising. Didn't get as many ones as I thought in the chat. Right, let's try Chris's comment. Why hasn't that shown, man? This is terrible luck. Why hasn't that shown? What's go live? I'm already live. Right, if I press go live, it could also... It's already working though. Properties. Put the same one in as I put in last time. Okay. Then... Let's see that. That is so weird. Turn entropy up front. Let's try Johnny Webfield seed. Oh man, this worked automatically last time and it was bliskets. One of the main reasons I've done it was to get entropies on the screen. I wonder if it's something in my YouTube studio that I need to sort out. Settings. Enable this, enable that. Viewer activity. Yeah, see, I can see Chris has got a thing in there. No, all that's good. Stream settings. Closed captions. Nah, man. Well, that is very annoying. It would appear I can't put... Let's click that. Oh, that nearly ruined everything. Manage. Oh gosh. Oh no. How do I go back? I don't want that. I want to go back into there. Right, I'm there. But why aren't the messages going on the screen? Let's try this one. Johnny about. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Sorry, people. I mean, it's already nearly 2 o'clock here. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this source and start it up again. Yeah, I do want to remove entropy pin comment. Then I'm going to add a new one. And it's going to be a browser source. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to put the URL as that. I'm going to say, okay. All right. And then when I go like that. Oh, there it is. It's tiny. We got there, people. Thank you for waiting. That must have been well boring. Never stop laughing at that. And some people never started laughing at it. But oh, there we are. Hey, twins. Why, hello, ladies. Look at that AI that is. Look how much they've improved their hands in like 5 months. I've got so much to tell you to scare the death out of you about AI. Right, let's make that. Oh, no, that ain't it. No, that's me. Does anyone know how to use computers? Is it that one? Maybe it's that one. Maybe if I press on it, it will tell me. Right, here we go. Brrr. There you go. Got the boy Otto in there. Right, I think we're good. So we should be able to go back to Chris here. Let's try. Oh, maybe not. Let's try Chris there. Hey, thank you, Chris there. There you go. Nice one, Chris. Hey. Oh, what was that? Did anyone else just see a weird YouTube thing appear on the screen? I don't know what that was either. No worries. I wonder if I can do it from here. No, I can't do it from here. Did I disappear for a minute, people, or is it? This is actually quite important, people. Did I disappear and come back, or have I been here continually? Can you tell me? Serious question, and then we'll get on with the stream. Have I been continual? I have no idea. Hello, 42. Oh, hey, son. Hello, Al. Good to see you, mate. Bats on the firm. David is celebrating the offness. It's a duck is here. Hello, Otto. John B. Everything is fine. Oh, JP, it says it's continually. Hello, Honey Monster. Oh, okay, thank you. So I've been here all the bloody time. Hello, Crusher. Nice to see you. Well, there you go then. Hello, Hans. Right, let me make all of this a little bit smaller. There's no need for me to be using CPU with that. I don't know what that means. Just something I heard once. Right, I'll put that over there like that. I am checking the chat from OBS. That seems to work best for me. Hello, Casa Calling. Hello, John. Right, so where are we? What are we talking about? Right, let me give you a little bit of a breakdown. So after the bereavement and all that, and a very strange bereavement, I explained it. I got a few emails actually. Oh, remind me to talk about the body language emails if I forget. I can put the comments on the screen. Do people want that? Do you want all the comments on the screen? Donation, application, donation, application. I will see you later. I've got a donation from Brick Dictator. I tried my best, but I did manage to do this. These lawyers pushed the free version of ChatGPT too far. Well, hang on a minute. Let's I'll have a little look at that. Okay, let's have a nice one, Brick Dictator. Well, I'll leave that up and I'll read some of that as the stream progresses, but I won't do it now because it'll divert me from the little bit I've got to talk about. But nice one on the lady. I'm hiding under it. Nice one on the Lady Godiva. Appreciated you using entropy. Entropy is preferable, people. They take less of a cut, and you're not giving YouTube money. I mean that. It's great. I do accept all grifting though, but good work, BD. I know some people can't do entropy for whatever reasons. Anyway, enough grifting. Thank you, BD. We'll have a look at that later. Right, and I'll take that off the screen. On, off. Right. So there you go. What that is, from what I briefly looked at it, he used ChatGPT, and it says here, I'll show you actually. Why don't I try and use my new system to actually see if it works. Hang on. There you go. Hey, look at ChatGPT on a good one. A lawyer faces sanctions after he used ChatGPT to write a brief riddled with fake citations. Now, there's something I need to tell you about ChatGPT, and I without reading that, I already know what the problem is. Now let me just change the. I want to edit that so I know what it is. Hang on. How do I change the name of it? Browser. I want to edit it. How do I change the name of the bloody thing? Oh, it doesn't matter. Move to the top. Right, anyway. So let me tell you a little story, right? So how am I going to tell you this without getting my friend in trouble? How am I going to do this? Right, a friend of mine sells sporting goods, right? He's got an e-commerce. It's a website selling sporting goods. And he found out that a certain method of exercise, I've got to be easy on specifics here, but you'll get the general gist of what I'm saying. He found out that a certain type of exercise, according to this one research paper he read, this certain type of exercise actually likely increases the health and longevity of your heart, right? So he took that article, like a few thousand words article, and everyone's doing this, by the way. This is the new blogosphere of e-commerce. You know, I've been writing blogs every month for years, and they take about 4 hours. Not only have they got to be engaging, not only have they got to be a bit clickbaity, but they've also got to be stuffed with keywords. Now, you can't do it like you used to. Do you remember the good stroke bad old days on Google when you'd go to a website, say they were selling bonsai trees? It would go, welcome. Let's say the company was Best Bonsai, right? And you'd get there and it'd go, hang on, let me just get it on here so I can see your chat. You'd get there and it'd go, welcome to Best Bonsais, the best bonsai trees in the world. If bonsai trees are what you're looking for, then Best Bonsai trees are the best bonsai trees you can find. There's so many things to do with bonsai trees. In fact, we've been studying and growing bonsai trees since bonsai trees got popular in the late 20th century. Bonsai, you know, it's just, that's called keyword stuffing. Because one of the ways SEO, search engine optimization, I'll give you a very, I know a lot of you know this, but for people who don't. So what's the point of having a website like millions of people have got if no one knows how to get there? Like, if no one knows it's there, how do they find it? So you've got a website, you're selling your bonsai trees, John's bonsai. But when someone goes to Google and types in bonsai trees, how does Google know the best websites to tell you? How does it know which websites have got authority? And Google does give every single website an authority score. Most of them are 0, by the way. So SEO is search engine, the likes of Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever you want to use. Search engine optimization. How do you make your website, how do you optimize it for search engines? So you used to keyword stuff like that. What shops used to do would have a white page and they'd write all their keywords in white text. So it'd just be like, bonsai trees, best bonsai trees. How do you grow bonsai? How do you make bonsai? Bonsai trees for beginners. How to grow bonsai trees for beginners. How do I buy bonsai trees? Bonsai tree gifts. How do you buy a bonsai tree gift? How do you look after your bonsai? I want to buy a bonsai. And this would go on for like 5 pages, but white text on a white page. And every few sort of lines, it would say, click here to see our latest range. So you wouldn't hang around on those pages. You'll just think, You know, well, this is nothing. There's no pictures. But Google sends out its crawlers to read all your text. And of course, if you've got the keywords, that was one way of Google giving you authority. Another way is backlinks. How many other websites have linked to you? It's a bit like peer evaluation. You know, how many other websites in your niche, firstly, have linked to your site? So say there's 20,000 blogs about bonsai trees, and 10,000 of them, they're not shops, they're just people who like bonsai trees. 10,000 of them have linked to best bonsais. They've said, oh, I had a look at best bonsais. Here's their URL, www.bestbonsais.com. That's a backlink. And the more backlinks you can get, Google's crawlers get to your website, they scan the internet, and they're like, hang on a minute, loads of people like this lot will up their authority. And then, of course, people started making blogs just to get the backlinks. So the blog itself that gives you the link, that has to have its own authority. Because I could sit here with modern AI, I could write 100 blogs in a day. Easy. Just go to ChatGPT-4 or go to Bard, and just type in, write me a 3,000 word blog about bonsai trees in the 18th century. Brrr, done. By the URL, bonsais are us. Upload it and then backlink to my shop. Take about 5 minutes. And then I can just do hundreds of those, easy. So Google then had to work out, well, are the backlink, what kind of authority have the backlinks got? Like, for instance, if your backlink comes from a university, weirdly, but you can understand why, because, you know, most people don't know their bullshit fountains. If you've got a .edu in America, and that's the university, you know, instead of .com or .org, it's .edu for education. A .edu backlink is a really good one to get. I'll tell you a little story that I done. I gave out a scholarship. And I contacted all the unis and said, I've got a scholarship here to give to a student, only a few $100. A student who's struggling, they have to write a 500 word, you know, what their position is, what their area of research is. And I'll give someone a few £100 to help them with their education. And I'll give it to a really cool bloke, actually. It was funny. Most of them were like, I'm really into inclusivity and diversity. It's especially important to me, being gay. And I was like, no, that is important, but it's not so important to me. And so many of them were like, let's just, you know, this has got to be the message. And I thought, yeah, you know, some you win, some you lose. But the bloke actually, well, I probably can't tell you. However, all the universities in America linked to my shop because my shop was offering this few $100 scholarship. So I got loads of scholarship. I got loads of university backlinks, which are high authority .edu. So they're the sort of things you have to do. So let's go all the way back. So what's the point of having a website if people don't know about it? And why was I telling you that? Oh yeah, the blogs thing. So we talked about keyword stuffing and writing blogs. Why am I telling you this? I've bloody forgotten. I've really forgotten. Oh, hang on. It'll come back to me. Blogs. AI. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. So that link that I think it was Albert Ross put me on to. Hello, Mega Essex boy. Good to see you, mate. Always a pleasure. That link he just sent to me. Let's have a little look at it again. Oh, I must admit, OBS is a bit nice. Now I'm starting to know where I'm going. A lawyer faces sanctions after he used ChatGPT to write a brief riddled with fake citations, right? Hey, I'm learning it. Let me just make sure the thing's done. Right, lovely. Now, so my mate, who this is non-specific, but I don't want to grass him up. He realised that this certain training tool could potentially increase. Oh, thank you. I'll deal with that in a minute. That's very kind. Could potentially increase your heart, the health of your heart, and the longevity of its ability to keep you alive. Because one research paper said it. So he got that paper, he cut it, he copied it, said to ChatGPT, rewrite this. That was it. And then it was just rewritten, the research paper, not the main, not all the sort of details, just the abstract. You know, a recent study suggests that doing blah 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 means that the aorta blah 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 blah. In a study of 1,000 exercisers or whatever, 1,000 athletes, 74% reported higher heart functioning, blah 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 blah. So just a 400 word summary, not the like 50 word scientific document, just a summary. Oh, hey, ChatGPT, rewrite this. So it's the same, tells the same story, but it's not the same words, just someone else's ideas. And then said to ChatGPT, give me some research papers. And I'm guessing this is exactly what brick dictators, not exactly, but potentially the problem with the story brick dictators sent us. And he'll tell me in the chat, actually. Well, if he's still here. But nice one, Dillich. Get on the phone to Card Doctor. Good call. Appreciate it, mate. He said to ChatGPT then, list some research papers that back that up. Because when you use ChatGPT, you can get it to keep working on the same thing. So when you say rewrite this, then you change this word for that word, change this word for that word, it does that. And then you say, list some research papers that back that up. And at this point, it's all getting a bit murky because, well, that isn't anything because you've changed stuff. But ChatGPT is the future. ChatGPT wants to help you. So it does its bit, it scans its data set, and it finds a few papers. Increased heart performance when people are running, blah, blah, blah. Heart performance and the ventricles, blah, 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 blah. And the geezer put them all in his article. And he told me about it. And I told a mate about it, a mate who is an AI genius. He said to me, go and tell him to check those research papers. I said, why? He said, well, because ChatGPT lies. ChatGPT lies. And when he did, out of the 8 of them he used, 7 of them were nothing. 7 of them were nothing. You could see where ChatGPT had sort of got the info, but it had confused things like the subheading. One of them was from someone whose name was Hart. So it was something like Julie Ann Hart and her exercise program. And it had assumed, because it's only a very basic AI, ChatGPT is not that advanced, really. It's not even as advanced as Bard. And so you get this kind of weird legacy. ChatGPT is not bright. It doesn't think. This is I want to see what if Brick Dictator is still about. If you're here, BC, can you tell me, is that the sort of guts of that link you sent me? It kind of, like the article says, it was riddled with fake citations. Now I'm going to guess that the writer of it didn't put fake citations in. I'm going to guess that the ChatGPT did. And the geezer that used ChatGPT to write it didn't consider that because he was caught up in the dream of AI. I mean, people who discuss AI, they talk about hallucinations. AI has hallucinations now. Here we go. BC. Nice one, BC. Much appreciated. The lawyer in the story admits he didn't look up the cases when they were questioned. He trusted the science. There you go. He trusted ChatGPT that just put the cases in. But ChatGPT is not a lawyer. And the complexities of law. Now, can ChatGPT write a legal document with absolutely on the money cases that show precedents, legal precedents, and is absolutely legitimate to use in court? Yes, easily. Take a couple of hours, but it can do it. But you need to know how to do it. You need to know what to say to it. And if you don't, it starts guessing. It starts making shit up. Here's a good way of understanding it. Let me see if I can find this channel for you. This is how I'll explain it to you in a second. Right, hang on. Let me just drop that out. Right, let me find this account. 1 second. Damn, does anyone know the name of the Twitter account? It's called something like Funny Prompts, Funny Mid-Journey Prompts. It will really explain what I'm trying to say. Oh, damn. Well, it would really be handy if I could find it. Funny mid-journey prompts. Mid-journey prompts gone wrong. Does anyone know the name of the channel I'm looking for? It's because so many people are talking about it. It's hard to find it now. I'm going to just have a look in the chat, see if anyone knows it. Does anyone know the name of the Twitter account, which is all funny? Hello, Martha. Bless you. What an absolute pleasure. Does anyone know the name of the Twitter account? Damn. It might just be something like... There's loads here. Mid-journey prompts. Ah, yeah. Bizarre mid-journey prompts. Hang on. Right, that is not good enough because they're not showing the pictures. It's just the names of the prompt, but they're quite funny though. Hispanic M&M, Hillary Clinton latex. Yeah, I'll show you what I've got at the moment, but I want to find it will really make sense. Let me make that a bit bigger for you. Oh, I don't need to do that on Twitter. I can do that here, can't I? Yeah, man. But look at that. I'm not going to read it out. But there's no knowing if these are legit or not. You know, rabbits meeting with fish. No, I want the ones with the pictures. Oh, maybe it has got pictures. No, it hasn't. Damn. Who to follow? No. Funny prompts or something. No, I'm not wasting any more time on this. This is getting silly now. I'll just tell you. But it would have been good to... It would have been good to have a mid-journey version to to be able to explain it. So in Midjourney, which is AI image generation, sometimes you'll get someone and they'll say half Bill Clinton, half dinosaur. Right? Now imagine what the AI does with that. And with all prompts, whether it's ChatGPT or whether it's Midjourney making images, it's not so much what you tell it, it's what you don't tell it. Because if you don't tell it, it has to work that out itself. It has to just guess. And so when you see people saying things like half Bill Clinton, half dinosaur, they sort of want a Tyrannosaurus Rex with Bill Clinton's head on it wearing like a red tie going, "Rah." But what they actually get is a picture that's half Bill Clinton and half a dinosaur. And you can see how that would get more complicated. You'll see things like, it'll be like a woman, comma, wearing a woman, comma, with a red dress made of flames. And then the image is a woman and then a red dress made of flames. It's just, and that is the same with ChatGPT. If you ask it to do stuff, it will fill in the gaps. And so for things like legal stuff or research documents, you know, it can just piece them together out of nothing. There is some real issues there. And like Brick Dictator said, this look, I'll stress this, can a top lawyer use ChatGPT to write legal documents that will work in the highest courts of the land? Yes. I guarantee it. I know that it can. But you've got to know how to get it to do it. You know, you can't just go write a document and about you're not allowed to hit someone unless they've come in unless they've come in your house armed. It's something to do with Rule 23, number 2, number 6 in the... No, because it will start guessing. It will start just dropping stuff in that it thinks is right. It's hello, Mr. Gold. Nice to see thee. Hello, Baz. LC350. Have I said hello to you, John? Have I said hello to you, Picard? Ladies and gentlemen, the Scrubs went a-camping. The Scrubs, they did go a-camping. And I've cleared it with said Scrubs and we've got some photos. How exciting. Remember I told you they went, let's have a look. Sorry, I've just been, people sending me bizarre emails all day long. Remember the boy Cray and Picard went camping? Well, they sent us some photos. And the boy Cray said that he's a lovely lad. He said Packer's a lovely lad. Right, hang on. Where are these photos? God, I get so many emails. It drives me nuts. How do I know where the photos are? Oh, I've got them. Right, let me just get these into my art program. Oh, hang on. I think I can probably show them here. No, it's a bit dodgy, actually. Here, copy image. I'll drop them into my art program. That's one. Oh, my God. These people know how to take photos. I'll cut out that massive. Gotcha. This is worth it, people. They're really lovely, wholesome Scrubs of camping pics. Here we go. Number 2. That's better. That hasn't got all the chaff around it. I'll chaff you in a minute, Packer. Carry on like this. Can you imagine? Packer's missus was at home on her own all weekend. Or was she? Totally uncalled for. You know why I said that? Because I can't upset Packer. That ain't going to happen. You know why? Because he's confident with himself and his life. That's just a fact. That's why I do just relentlessly take the piss out of him when he comes on for a chat. And then after the piss taking, we actually end up having a good chat. It's a way of it's how working class people establish their friendship. If you can't take the piss out of someone, there's limits set. Limits are set. And that's an issue. I find that an issue. Right, hang on. These are some cool photos. It will be worth it. I mean, people, I've been working since 9 o'clock this morning. It's 2:30 now. These are wicked photos, though. Please tell me the boy Cray isn't in the chat saying, no, I changed my mind. I did offer to blur the kids' faces out, but they both said it was all right. And it should be all right. I mean, we don't live in that kind of awful world. Right, here we go, people. I'm going to change it to my art program like this. There we go. And then I'll do this. So there is one of the photos. Oh, hang on. If I just make that a bit smaller somehow. Hang on. Hi, I'm still here. It's all right. There you go. There's one photo. I haven't chopped off anyone's head there. That is the full photo. Look at them. Look at the children of the Scrubs, people. Look at that. Look at the scran. Look at the absolute scran on it. Oh, what's happened? I can see it. I'm not so good at that. That didn't work so well, did it? Hang on. Let me try and scran it up. There you go. Oh. Nah, I'm not going to bother with the scran anymore. You can see it, can't you? You can see what they got there. A burger, 3 burgers, 4 sausages. That'll be Packer's breakfast. If I'm right, that's Packer's boy in the background. I can recognise him from these streams. Anyway, next up. Look. There you go. We've got a couple of the Scrubs kids. Look at them in the woods. 100% free camping. Look at all the deck chairs. Good Lord. I bet it was such a laugh. I bet you had a right laugh, didn't you? Getting to know each other. Little weird wrangles with kids of that age, trying to get on with each other and, getting a bit whiny as it got late and that. But let's just zoom into that man there. I mean, come on, people. Lord of Scrubbage. Look at that. Hi, Vi. Most people wear camo when they go camping. Packer's like, no, I want to be seen. Packer was thinking, if I fall over, I want that helicopter to be able to see me. He Ivied it up to the max. Look at the hat. Amazing. Looks like a lovely venue as well. Absolutely gorgeous. There you go. Right, next on the Scrubs camping. It certainly ain't glamping, is it? I'll tell you that much. Look, they got the catapults out. Look at them teaching them. Look at Packer. See Packer there saying, you better hit that squirrel or you ain't eating. Who provided the catapults? Whose idea was that? Was that the boy Cray or did you turn up with the offensive weapons, Packer? Place your bets now, people. The boy Cray or Packer? Packer or the boy Cray? Come on. Put the names in the chat. Who provided the offensive weapons? My money is going to be on the boy Cray, weirdly. My belly tells me it was Packer. But something tells me it was the boy Cray. And I'll tell you why. Because I think they've got 2 catapults. And I'm not so sure whether Packer would have had 2 catapults. Look at that. Look at it. Look. Look at them loving their sausages out there. Little bun he's got on the go there. What's that? Feeny mini treats. Like some kind of cheap imitation of celebrations, I think. Packer's pound shop celebrations. Dad, have you got any chocolates? No, I've got chocolate flavoured candy, pound for 50. Is that some aftershave you've got down there? Oh no, they're the catapults. Good Lord, they look pretty flashy little catapults. Let's have another zoom in on the old boy. Look at him. Look at him having the time of his life. Look at him. I'm so gel. Look at that. Look, he's absolutely loving it. Oh, absolutely loving it, as he should. He works hard for it, and he's got the life he wants. Can't ask for more. He's got the life he wants. He says it many times. And I think we've got one more. There you go. I think the boy's giving the game away in the bottom left there. Look, just his little head. There they are. Look, raising a bun there. Bagger's cooking. More sausages, anyone? But people, if I can zoom in here, let's just have a look at how many empty tinnies there are in the bin. Now, there's there's a couple of cans of booze there for sure, and I'm sure the kids weren't on him. You can't give a baby booze. I've got this amazing kind of I've got this amazing sort of image of it in my head that it was just great. The kids sort of got on. I bet there was a little bit of tension. You know, it's hard when kids are meeting new kids, especially in a new environment. Like when kids come around your house and you're a kid, you're safe because it's your house, it's your mum and dad, it's your stuff. So you're sort of the king of the castle. But in a neutral environment, you know, and your fathers ain't the best of friends. They're not enemies, but they're not best friends. You know, they've met on the scrubs. But I bet it was lovely once they all settled and that, and they cooked up a bit of food, and then I bet when the little ones went to bed, oh, the boy Craig and Packer cut the beers down. I bet they were putting the world to rights in the middle of the forest. I'll tell you what, I'd love to do that. Not out here, though. I'll do it in England. What's the worst that can happen? A badger, probably, or a deer. But snakes and tarantulas is kind of a no to the camping. But I bet it was wonderful. And well done for sorting that out. What a lovely thing to do. Absolutely wonderful. There you go. I'll close that. Having that open is giving me the fear. Hello, Jessica. How are you, darling? Finny Sweets. They're quite nice. Oh, there you go. You got a bit of support from Jessica there, Picard. Art Glow's on the firm. Talking to Casa Calling. Hello, Casa Calling. Look, Woodlander, look. He had to turn up. He didn't even know those photos were coming up. They went out on the internet and he just went, wah, 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 wah. Something told him. He just clicked on the stream at that point. Yeah. Can't beat time in the woods. It's a natural place for blokes. And I absolutely agree with you. You know, I've done so many different things in wooded areas. But I've done so many different things, from live role playing, you know, the old dressing up as a knight. Hit 2d4. Well, there's no dice in live role playing, but you know what I mean. And I've done motorbike, my old KX over Dartford Heath. I've done BMXing over Dartford Heath. I was flashed over Dartford Heath when we were kids. Some bloke come up to us. There was about 7 of us. The Gardner family. Graham, Aaron, Amanda, Scott, Emma and me. And, you know, it's middle of the summer holidays. Gone up the Heath about 8 o'clock in the morning. And this bloke just appeared. This big old area, Dartford Heath. And this geezer appeared and he went, "What are you lot doing?" But probably in a Dartford accent. I just always resort to Northern. With pedos and idiots, I resort to Northern. He went, "What are you lot up to?" He went, "What are you lot doing?" And I think Aaron said, "Oh, we're looking for rabbits." And we sort of were, but not to kill them, just because weird to see rabbits when you're like 8. I think the eldest of us was about 12, and the youngest would have been Emma, who would probably been about 7. And he went, "Oh, all right." And we walked off, and about 20 minutes later, it's Dartford Heath isn't flat. It's got loads of like scrub and, you know, trees and bomb holes as well, like big bomb craters. Wicked for riding your bike down one end and doing a 360 out the other end. Yeah, I nearly nearly pulled a 180 once and broke my ankle. But about 20 minutes later, he's come round the corner, absolutely stark bollock naked. Tell a lie, he had his boots on. Same bloke, right? He's got his boots on, he's got his clothes under his arm, completely naked, and giving it some of that. And even to this day, what was weird was he wasn't giving it some of that. He was really enjoying the length of his column. Do you know what I mean? Like really enjoying, like, oh yeah. But he acted like nothing out of the ordinary was happening. He went, "You lot still looking for rabbits?" And we were like, "Yeah, suppose so." And he was just, and he went, "Do you want any help?" What? I mean, what mental kid's gonna go, "Yeah, you can hang around with us, you 40-year-old naked man with an erection in his hand. Yeah, crack on, be part of the gang, you know. Can't wait to tell the other kids, oh, look who we met, the naked man with a penis." And Aaron just went, "Leg it." Of course, you can't let that go without dramas. So as soon as we get home, no, before we get home, I go into a phone box. 999. Not because I'm scared, not because I'm worried, but, you know, let's rinse it. It was the same when my mate got stuck down the Dinos. We didn't really need 3 fire engines, 2 ambulances and 5 press cars and 2 old bill cars. But, you know, what are you going to do? This was pre-internet. Kids used to go out and cause these kinds of problems. So I've just rung up the old bill. "Hello? Man on Dartford Heath just got his cock out. Where are you?" "We're at the corner of Princess and so-and-so." Can't remember that road. They went, "Stay there, but don't approach anyone." "No, you're all right." There was something about him that just repelled me. So they've all turned up. Thank you for that. They've all turned up. And nice one, Mr. Gold. Appreciate Kanatu. They've all turned up. And the old Bill. And they've taken us all home. And I remember a WPC come round my house. And so she sat there. And my mum's there. And she said to my mum, "Are you all right with me talking to your son about this event? Or do you want someone from the social services here?" And my mum was like, "I don't really want you here." "I don't really want any of this, to be honest with you. I mean, he's all right. They're all right, you know." And she went, "Oh, no, So anyway, I'm just loving it. I went, "So, you know, storyteller." I was like, "All right, get comfortable." So there we were, beautiful summer's day, only about 8. And I said, "Let's get..." And anyway, I got to the money shot, and I said, "Yeah, he just appeared with his massive cock in his hand." And my mum's gone, "Christopher, all right, it gets better, trust me." So I finished the story. I said, Aaron just said leg it or scarper or something, and we all just ran away. And she said, "Did you see him again after?" I said, "No, we ran out of the..." I think they separated us all to ask us to get the stories to make sure we weren't just making it up before they swooped down on the heath. But I bet old naked man had well sprinted home and gone, "Oh, fucking hell, it was the best day of my life." When I'd finished telling her the story, she said to my mum, she said, I've summarised Christopher's version of events, and I've just done a little sketch." And I was thinking, yeah, I've got to see this sketch. And she said, "I just want you to confirm and sign if you agree that that's a fair summary of what your son said." So my mum's like, and I knew they wouldn't let me. So I've bolted out of the armchair and I've just got my head round it, and I shit you not, it was like a stick man with a pair of Wellingtons on and an arrow to his penis that she hadn't drawn, and she'd written penis in hand. My mum was like, yeah, I think that's fine. We never heard anything back from him, but I can still picture that bloke, and I reckon I see him a couple more times around Dartford in the sort of, the next sort of 4 or 5 years. I wouldn't have like got the old bill on him though, because he might have just looked a bit like someone else, and you ruined someone's life with all that. Yeah, that's the bloke, that's him. And then all of my other mates would have gone, yeah, that's him, just because that's what kids are like sometimes. I just can't imagine a kid going, nah, no, I can't, nah, because that story ends there, doesn't it? And so, too dangerous to go down there. But yeah, absolute bizarreness. Who's in who I haven't said hello to? Packer said the kids had fun and Steve and me had a right laugh. It's lovely, man. If I was in England, if the bereavement, I mean, come on, Mum, you could have just left it a bit longer. If I was in England when that had happened, I'd have joined you. Well, if I'd have been invited. Wow, maybe I wouldn't have done. No, we don't want you there. You're a dirty bastards. Get away from our children. Hello? You know that bloke on the eve? He's invited himself. Good, I'm so glad, Packer. Anyway, there's a few more. There is the adder, the common adder, and the grass snake, or are they the same? Rare to see an adder. Give us a 1 in the chat if you used to get the old slow worms when you were a kid and take them home and put them in a tank until they died. Alan's on the firm. Alan's on the firm, he's on the firm. Alan's on the firm, he's on the firm. Good to see you out. Hope you're alright, mate. Emma G. Emma G. Emma G. Me, excuse my French, but Loki's on the firm. They're all in. Johnson. Johnson wins with the comments. Sorry about that. It's alright. It didn't do me in. That's a wicked one. Sorry about that. It's brilliant. Mr. Gold, thank you for that donation, mate. Much appreciated. All a bit thin on the ground at the moment. The prices out here have gone through the roof. It's ridiculous. Just for food. Just for food. I'll be getting my missus cooking me up those Johnson's well on fire. The good old. Well, it kind of in the good old days, you did know the local pedo though. You knew where he lived. You threw stones at his windows and you ran the hell away when he come out of his house. I mean, I know he wasn't a pedo, but you wrecked his life, and that was how it was back then. Someone looked a bit weird, probably just an old writer, with a history of drug abuse and no threat. Where are we? Anyone else missing? Honey Monster says this. If the old Bill arrested him, you'd pick him out in an identity parade, or you'd need to see his todger. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Probably not a good idea. Well, I just see him and I just thought that's that fella from the East. But when you're a kid. Hello, Pax Max. He's got his pen working. It's good to know. Hitch slaps on the firm. I am not wearing my smoking JS kit. No. I don't know what a smoking JS kit is, Hitch slap. Good to see you though, son. Vinny's here. Vincent. No cap, Popeye. Hello, mate. Jethro's here. Look, he announced himself. Jessica says this. Oh, I'm going to have to move that a little bit. Oh, that ain't the one. Oh, I never know what the one is, though. That is a bit of a problem with the old OBS. Oh, there you go. Jess. Oh, yeah. I think I'll just make it a bit smaller. There you go. But now we've lost you. Oh, Jess. It's like, isn't that working? I'm going to have to make it. I've lost you. It don't matter, Sorry about your avatar, Jess. Funny, innit? My mum said in the 70s there was a man who used to walk down the passage by her primary school and flash his penix at the school kids who were by the fence. Caught by teachers one day. Yeah, you know, back in the day, the 70s were a very different place. My mother and her friend Veronica got the full flashing treatment, Jess. You know, the proper, you know, Mac, dirty old Mac, hat, walking along, middle of winter, and he just done the old, opened his coat. And Veronica went, God, a bit cold for that sort of thing, isn't it, love? And he just done it up and sprinted off. Now look, I'm not making fun of, obviously, of anyone who's been damaged or traumatised by, you know, I was there on the receiving end, so I'm obviously not making fun of that. But just for a minute, consider that bloke's life. Consider him at home. He's having his dinner. He's watching EastEnders or something. And then he goes, right, I'm going to go out and flash some old women. I mean, they weren't that old, but they were in their 40s at least, right? I mean, if you're going to flash someone, a couple of 40-year-old women, maybe that was his thing. And then he thought, right, what shall I wear then? What socks shall I wear? Socks, shoes, full-length Mac, and then he must have stood in front of his full-length mirror. Oh, all gets a bit grotty like that bloke from Silence of the Lambs. I bet he was in front of the mirror going, I'm a diviner, super shiner. Look at me dancing, prancing like a beauty. Look at me. I was getting into that bit, sorry. Giving the game away. Danger the flasher. But he must have done something like that. And then he'd done it up and he must have done some practice flashes. You know, he might have even got his sewing machine out. He's not sewing skin on for his woman coat thing. But he might have done a quick release mechanism for his flasher Mac. I mean, the last thing you want to do as a flasher is approach your victims and then get all fumble. Oh, hang on a minute, I can't get my fucking belt open. No. So he must have made like a brrr, 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 little quick release sort of thing. And then he would have walked around. And I bet you, because any of that weird behaviour, it's a bit like drugs. It's a bit like prostitution. You know, half of the fun is the going and looking for it. Like when I lived in Soho, I'd walk round for about 2 hours before going to see a whore sometimes. Just because I didn't want to just go in one that was downstairs and, oh, hello, it's you again. I lived above a brothel. I did once, though. I put on a fully bespoke suit, bespoke shirt, tie, washed my hair, penis and armpits, socks, polished my shoes. Took me about an hour to get ready, right? Walked downstairs, out of my door, into the brothel, took it all off, had sex, put it all on again, walked back upstairs, took it all off and went to bed. But that's a rarity. So a lot of the time it's that sort of bit before the action. So imagine him, I bet he was walking around for hours. And as it was getting darker, the numbers were going down. I bet he had to find, like, you know, there must be like a window of flashing opportunity, which is where there's not too many people, so that when you flash, they've also seen you, he's also seen you, people at the geezers in the motor have seen you, and you're going to get the shit kicked out of you. But still enough people so that you can find a victim. And I bet when that sort of weird window, probably about 9:30, this isn't a workshop, I'm just making jokes. And then he ended up with my mum and Veronica. And he must have thought, yeah, that's them. And then I bet he tailed them for a while. And then had it, you know, he had his ordnance survey map at home. And he thought, right, when I spot them there, I've got 20 seconds to go down the alley, round the block, and cut them off at the end of the road. And then he'd come out, quick release mechanism. And then she went, oh, bit fucking cold for that sort of thing, innit, mate? And then he was probably like, whoa! Like mad trauma adrenaline, just like he's done it. He's done his thing. That's his horrible degenerate thing. And then just mac together. Imagine sprinting. He must have gone back to Temple Hill. Imagine sprinting through Temple Hill Estate. I tell you what, kids over there, even in those days, if you'd have fallen over and had nothing on under your Mac, you would have not got home. They would have cut you to pieces. They would have taken your limbs home as trophies. But imagine when he got home, though. Imagine. He either knocked one out or couldn't do that. And that's why his sexual desires had sublimated into an activity that wasn't actually sexual. Maybe he spuffed when he done it. But whatever the case may be, when he got home, he must have taken his Mac off, put some trousers on, put a shirt on, sort of made a cup of tea, and then sat down and just, last of the summer wine. And then just a geezer. Now, let's just consider the numbers for a minute, shall we? Chances are, loads of people watching this video know at least one person who's if not a regular, has done something like that. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, I reckon we all know about 1,000 people. It's got to be, innit? Not necessarily by name or not friends, God no. But you've met a lot of people in your life. And it does come out occasionally, doesn't it? When someone says, "Oh, guess what? You remember that fellow who so-and-so brought to that party?" And you're like, "Yeah." And they go, "Yeah. He got done, blah, blah. He got done." Oh, man, I've just remembered. Oh, yeah, right. So I went to see a therapist when I got back from... It's not really AI now, but it will get back to AI. Let me just tell you this. When I got clean in Thailand once, when I got back, nice one for that mouse cat. Yeah, I'll actually do that now because I'm changing topics and I'll keep it in context. Mouse cat says this: friends of mine were in their escort van, got some hassle off kids in Ockenden near the shops where they were scoring ash. Jokingly said to the kids, "Want to see some puppies?" And all got nicked. There you go. There you go. That's interesting. That's what Baudrillard says about simulation. He says simulation is as simple as this: walk into a bank with a fake revolver and pretend to hold the place up. You're still going to prison. And that's the reality kind of scheme. That's the schema of reality there. They just said it for a laugh. Because then, imagine how the interview goes. So what happened next? Well, some kids come along and I just sort of said, "Want to see some puppies?" "Yeah, but you've got 2 dogs, haven't you?" "Yeah, but they're hardly puppies." "Yeah, but they're small." "Yeah, but they're not puppies." "Oh, but if you had puppies, you'd show them to the kids, would you?" And then all of a sudden, it's coming on top. It is coming on top. They've got to investigate it. Because if those kids went home and said, "We went up the shops and some men said, do we want to see their puppies?" If you're a father, you're going to go out there and go and find those fuckers. "What do you say to my kid?" Bosh. Wow. Nice one, Mouse Cat. Great bit of grifting. Aprasha Kanatu. Did I say hello to you, No Cat Popeye? He's on the firm. He's on the firm. NCP is on the firm. Oh, NCP didn't work out well, did it? Sorry, mate. Oh, it's better than NPC, though. There, you're all right. You're all right, son. Right. What was the next thing? I was telling you a story. Ah, balls. Ah, no, I see what you've done, Mouse Cat. You've only given me a nice donation and I've forgotten. Hang on. So when I come back from Thailand after getting clean once, yeah, on my own, rattled it, no problem. Gram a day, you'll be right, son. Just going to die and be ripped through reality, turned inside out every 5 seconds. And I thought, there's no point getting back to England and not doing anything. because I've got clean so many times and then just got back on it. So I thought I'll try something different. I'll get a therapist, right? So I'll get a psychoanalyst, a psychotherapist, right? And I've done plenty of psychotherapy in groups, in rehabs and all that. And I've lectured psychoanalysis, so I know how it works. That isn't very helpful, actually, when you're actually in therapy. Knowing how it works, knowing about transference, knowing your Laplanche and Pontalis back to front, actually gets in the way. But I got quite pissed off with him because he was basically just a 12-step counsellor. And it was fucking Harley Street, so yeah, cheers mate. You know, he only hired out a room. Just because you've got a room on Harley Street, all that means is I pay more for my therapy. And I picked Harley Street because I lived in Soho, so it was a 5-minute walk. Third session in, he went, yeah, it's up in Notting Hill Gate now. Yeah, but I don't want it in Notting Hill Gate. I booked you because you were just round the corner from where I live. Are you being resistant to therapy now because it's getting difficult? No, I'm being resistant to having to get a fucking tube up to you at rush hour. I don't want it. Anyway, he said to me, you sound like you've got a sex addiction. And I said, look, I said, there's no such thing as addiction. You know, they're on a superficial level, if you take too much of certain drugs, your body requires them to function normally. When you take them away, you're going to go through hell. But there's no addiction. I said, I have had a lot of sex, yes. And I have paid a lot of prostitutes for sex, yes. But I'm not a sex addict. And he went, well, how about we fill in this, how about we do this questionnaire? And I was like, is it from the DSM? And he went, yeah. I went, okay. So he asked me questions like, have you ever paid for sex? I was like, hasn't everyone? 2, have you paid for sex more than 20 times? I was like, hasn't everyone? Tick. Have you paid for sex more than 5? I was going, listen, mate. I said, sometimes it's 4 a day. Anyway, and then he started going, do you keep your sexual habits a secret from your friends and family? And I was like, you're joking, ain't you? I'd just done an Edinburgh show last year called Sex Tourist, and I've done one this year called Sex with Children. Quite the opposite. The whole world knows about my sex life. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we do this whole test, and then at the end of it, he goes, well, according to this, you've got a 13% chance of being a sex addict. I said, yeah, I told you. I said, it's bullshit. I said, it doesn't exist anyway. And he went, And I went, I said, what? You think I'm lying? You think I've lied on that questionnaire? Why would I pay you £100 a session to lie to you? And this is what ended the therapy. He went, I think you believe you're telling the truth. And I just thought, yeah, you might as well wrap this up, son, because I ain't ever coming back to this shit. Absolute bullshit. Hello, Lars. Good to see you. An absolute pleasure. No, Dennis, when done correctly, I think it's essential. You know, I've seen therapy save lives, and I think, you know, when it's done correctly, it's a wonderful thing. But there is so many why can't I get that? There you go. There's so many chances that it's so easy to get that job. You know, you've only got to do a few courses and then to be a counsellor and then go and work in rehab for a couple of weeks and suddenly you're a psychotherapist. No, I reckon to be a psychotherapist, you need to do about 10 years training till you're even halfway there. And you've got these idiots that, you know, they've learned it in a year. I've had a therapist before, didn't even know Jacques Lacan was. I was like, are you joking? Like, probably one of the most important psychoanalysts of the 20th century. Never heard of Jacques Lacan. And she was like, again, you're using your intelligence to get in the way of your emotions. I said, no, I'm fucking fuming. I'm absolutely fucking fuming that you don't know who Jacques Lacan is. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's like being an aircraft engineer and not knowing who the Wright brothers are. Loki got one through. Boom. Nice one, Loki. Loved all the scrubs and a big hoit to Chris and all. Nice one, Loki. Nice to see you here. Lovely. Right. What did I want to tell you about AI? Now, here's the thing, right? Jean Baudrillard, French wannabe philosopher. Kind of funny bloke. I will recommend this book to all of you. I'm going to write it in the chat. Core Memories. And the author is Jean Baudrillard. Jean Baudrillard. Right, there you go. The book's called Core Memories and it's written by Jean Baudrillard. It's aphorisms. So some of them are like 2 lines. Some of them are like 100 words. And it's a nice square book. On the cover, it's got a picture of an empty swimming pool in front of the sea, which is a lovely image for the sort of postmodern end of history culture we inhabit. You know, this sort of, you know, you've got the fucking ocean there and yet you've built a swimming pool in front of it, but no one wants it. No one needs it. The culture industry just made people consume it and produce it in front of something far superior and authentic. But the culture industry can't cope with authenticity because it can't make money out of it. Anyway, Core Memories is a beautiful book. You can just leave it in your toilet and just open it and read a couple of bits when you're on the lav. And in that book, when was Core Memories written? Hang on. $1987, right? Oh, how interesting. There's a different cover. And on this cover, oh, they weirdly, it's almost the opposite cover. Have a look at this. Hang on. It's almost the opposite cover. Like, look at that. It's some kind of trailer park that's flooded. Maybe it's the old cover, but the sea ran in and killed it all. That's not the cover I wanted anyway. Right. But I tell you what, you can't go wrong with that book. It's really lovely. But in it, nice one, 42. Check for Steve Cray's comment. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Hello, Mad Lizzie. You alright, darling? If I said hello to you, it's a duck. True enough, there are no sharks in a pool, but there's no water in an empty one, though, in fairness. It's a duck. You know. So if you want to go swimming, it's a bit hard. Hello, Vorpalandville. Nice to see you. Never said your name right, not once, and I want to keep it like that. I'm not actually going to ever read it properly. Lars is in. Hello, Kim. Yeah, having a great time, haven't we? Keep that grift going. That's what helps me out. Nice one, Kim. Yeah, I had a migraine yesterday, and then I had the coof before that. Then I had a bereavement before that. It's like, help us out. I just want to be normal, and so today is like, oh, thank God for that. Where's the boy Cray's comment? I can't see it. How far away was it? Hello, Mr. Bontoft. I can't even see the boy Cray in the chat. I hope he hasn't said blur out those images of me, or I'm in all sorts of trouble because I've already put them up. Steve, can you put it in the chat again because I've missed it? 42, what did he say? Have I done something wrong? Is he going to get fired or something? I can't see his comment anywhere. It could be like hours back. Hello, Sean. I haven't said hello to you, mate. Hello, iTower. Someone else. Oh, the one good thing about looking. Oh, fuck me. Oh, that's the comment. Sorry, Danger. I just found out this hour that my cousin has died, aged 57. Fuck me. He was more like a big brother. My big brother. I'm devastated. Yeah, man. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Awful. Nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say. That's all on you. And, you know, when I was just ill with that cough and then a migraine, I started thinking, you know, I've never really thought about getting old, but I've lost so many friends in the last few years in their like late 40s, early 50s. I'm starting to realise, you know, these are the years where, you know, you hear of these people who make it to 80. That's quite rare, I reckon. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but yeah, there's nothing I can say, Steve, apart from I'm sorry, mate. If that, you know, I mean, when someone's like a big brother, they're actually better than a big brother because you've chosen them. You know, your actual big brother, I've got one, he's a pain in the ass. But your real, someone you've chosen to have that kind of role in your life, obviously, you know, you had a lot of respect for him. Amazing. Nice one, no cap, Popeye. Right. So, hello, Winston. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Someone else. I was talking about it earlier about my mate and his silly article. Johnny, I haven't said to you hello to you, have I? I don't know though, Johnny. I'd still like to be that person. Given the choice between being the one who goes first and the one who goes last, I'll have the years if you don't mind. I was just thinking the other day, I wasted so much of my early life. I really need another 50 years. And I don't think I'm going to get them. I could really, I'm running out of time. I've got one more year and then, Bukowski was published at 52. Although my editor, did I tell you my editor's back on the firm? And he's set a deadline for November. So, see you this time next year. But lovely that he's back. Hello, humans, eh? Nice to see you. Right, here we go. John Baudrillard, in Cool Memories, in 1987, he said, actually, that Cool Memories I put up, that one I put up is Cool Memories 2. Because it says Cool Memories. Oh, hang on, he's written loads of them. Cool Memories 4, 1995 to 2000. Cool Memories 2 is 1987 to 1990. When's Cool Memories 1? I didn't know there was 4 of them. Oh, you're milking that. I don't know about that. No, I want Cool Memories 1. Cool Memories. Just the first one. I can't believe you. I'll tell you what, I am tempted though, because the first one's an absolute beauty. Be careful if you do buy it, people, because the one you want has got the empty swimming pool in front of an ocean. I've got it here. But they're a bit funny with nicking photos these days, Amazon. You used to be able to cut and paste them. But I've been finding that a bit difficult. Oh yeah, I've got it. So this is the cover you want. That one, there you go. You've got the empty swimming pool. That's the one you want. It's a beautiful book. I don't think you'll regret it. You can probably pick it up secondhand for about £4 now. Gorgeous book. Like, just really lovely. Anyway, in that book, which must have been about 1980 now, I'm thinking, he says this. And it's the name of this stream. He says, artificial intelligence lacks artifice and therefore intelligence. And it's just a sort of off-the-cuff kind of postmodern sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like there's a word that, what happens to your words when you get older? I bet if I put the, if I see the comments, I bet Latus has got it for me. Flourish. It's like a little postmodern flourish. Oh, artificial intelligence lacks artifice and therefore intelligence. Oh, another glass of wine, Jean. Right? However, here's something interesting about people talking about getting AI to write novels. Now, I write literary fiction. That's my genre, right? It's just fiction for arseholes, right? It's fiction for postmodernists. By the way, with you scrubs buying my book, I'm guaranteed an Amazon #1 bestseller. Yeah, I'll tell you all about this a bit later, but it's guaranteed. A bloke contacted me. He sold a book on Amazon and got not a #1, but he got a bestseller with a book of no pages. Well, no, the pages are all blank. And he explained to me how it works. And because I've got an audience on here, if enough of you pre-order it, when it goes live, you've only got to sell about 200 in an hour, and I reckon I'll do that easily. You get in the bestseller list. And once you're in the bestseller in your genre, they elevate you to the actual bestseller lists. And once you've been elevated and all you lovely scrubs have written all your lovely positive reviews, more people buy it. And then the next day I get the cover and I whack Amazon bestseller over it. And then that starts selling. And then because it goes up more, Amazon #1 bestseller. Wonderful. Interesting bloke, actually. I'll show you a video one day of how he got his Amazon bestseller. I mean, you know, like the Times, not the Times, the New York Times bestseller list. That isn't based on sales. This is a fact. The New York Times is considered the big one. The New York Times bestseller list. It's not based on sales. What, the bestseller list? No, it's 100% curated. If you happen to be friends with the editor of the New York Times, you'll be on that list. If you happen to write a book that supports the political orthodoxy of the New York Times, you'll be on that list. There's been books on the New York Times bestseller list that have sold less than 500 books. It's all a scam. It's all just lies. No one here is surprised. No one here is like, what? What, the media? No, it's true, man. It's incredible. They do not stop. No, it is. But you call it literary fiction to keep yourself out of court, you know. It is absolutely true. It's just a true story. But, you know, there's a bit of magic realism in there. There's a little bit of, you know, a bit generous with the truth and a bit generous with the untruths as well. To, you know, keep me out of prison. The names have been changed to protect the exceptionally guilty. Right, so, where were we? Right, so, artificial intelligence. There's a lot of chat at the moment. Now, before I go there, I've got to go somewhere else. Listen to this. Listen how AI is hijacking reality. Now, you'd immediately think that's just poetic, post-structural nonsense. Artificial intelligence is hijacking reality. But we've already seen it to an extent. You know, I told you about how Will Self explained how the internet is the map and the territory being the same thing. You've got the Polish philosopher Zabinski, is it, who first started talking about the map and the territory in a general sense. Baudrillard in Simulations talks about Jorge Borges' story. I can't remember what it's called. It's a 1-paragraph story. I think Lewis Carroll talked about it. You know, it's been confusing the map for the territory has been you know, it's a canon of philosophy. But the internet is the map is the territory, right? Now stick with me with this. Now, because because the people who own Facebook and Google and Gmail and Yahoo and Twitter and Telegram and this and that and all the shops you visit and every other website you visit are selling your data, the internet has got a profile of you. So when you go on the internet, and the internet is absolutely consuming human cohabitation. Human socialization. You know, it all happens online now. You know, you do not need to go out of your house. Now, that's an ugly, vile thing. You saw how much I was celebrating the camping trip those lads went on. But you don't need to. And the difference is, our generation, the majority of us anyway, we went out. We loved going out. It was what made life. From the you know, young teens up the heath and all that lark, going out on motorbikes, going out skateboarding on your BMX, going out of catapults, all that, to your later teens going down the boozer, pulling birds, all that laugh. In your 20s, going into sorrow and, you know, all that lark. You went out. It was wicked. It was amazing. Life was great. Because people are great, and get a load of them together, mad things happen. But there's a generation now who can't talk properly because the first couple of years of their lives, everyone who spoke to them like that, which removed about 40% of their ability to learn how to speak. Because kids learn how to speak a hell of a lot by the movements of people's mouths. This is a generation who can get food delivered to their house. That wasn't a thing when I was a kid. No one would do that. You had to go out. If you wanted to go out, you would, and it would be lovely. Because you'd go to a restaurant. And at the restaurant, you'd have a few drinks. Your mum and dad would. They'd let you have a little sip of the lager, a little sip of wine. And everyone would start talking at the restaurant. In the old days, that happened. In the old days, whole restaurants would end up talking to each other. And even that slowly changed. I'll tell you what, when you go to top-end restaurants, like where the money is, that still happens. You know, it becomes an event. Because they know how to live the good life. Whereas the lumpen proletariat, they're on the phone. Nah, make sure it's got that £1/2 of cheese in the rim, yeah? Yeah. Super double meat, extra meat, dead animal carcass special, please. No, I want about 6 inches of death on top. What do you mean it's too greasy to fall apart? Stick it in a bucket, idiot. Yeah, you got 20 minutes, cheers. You know, you do not need to go out now. The only thing that you need to go out for is medical help. Everything else you can get to the house. And while that is a disaster to people like me, generations who are growing up with that being normal, you would not put money on it, would you? You would not put money that in about one generation, people will not be going out unless they have to. Not only because of everything I've just said, but also because the internet will be, because of AI, a wondrous place of eternal beauty. With real-time video enhancements, there'll be no ugly people on the internet. Everyone will be perfect, especially women. Because women, that's their currency. That's how they attract people. Not only that, but it's the majority of it, especially younger women. And when and older women, you're going to tell me a 50-year-old YouTuber's not going to, I'll just turn that dial up a little bit. No, I'm not changing I'm not changing how I look that much, but I'll just get rid of those wrinkles a bit. I'll just pull that back a little. Of course they fucking are. And outside, when you live in a world where everything's perfect and you've got real-time video processing, real-time voice processing, You know, you'll be watching, you won't know these things aren't real. There'll be some channels where there's no human involved at all. But you won't know that. You'll think they're real. She'll come on and go, "Hi guys, I'm Karen." And you'll think, "Oh, fucking hell, she's alright." And she'll be answering the comments. And there's no you know, it's all just been programmed in advance. And the responses to the chat, that'll just be live AI. She'll be going, "Oh, John, that's very nice of you." And she'll be typing away. And you won't know. And there'll be weird things where licenses, you need to say at the beginning of the video that this isn't a real person. You need to say at the beginning of the video this is stable diffusion, real-time processing. That won't last long. Fuck that. And people will lie anyway. Because when it gets to the point where you cannot tell, and with something like 60 hours of YouTube content being uploaded every minute, what? Someone's gonna sift through all of that, trying to look for the little digital cracks. Oh, there's been a glitch in the matrix. You're not real. Ah. And so when you get used to that beauty and perfection, and, you know, everything will be lovely. "Hi, life's great. Yeah, I went swimming this morning. I went down the gym. Then I had my lovely vegetable and fruit shake. Oh, I've lost 2 kilos this week. Here's my husband. We're getting married. We're going on our honeymoon in fuck knows, somewhere nice." I don't know anywhere nice. And then they'll even be able to show you their photos, but their photos won't even be real because they'll all be AI adjusted anyway. And you'll be like, "Fucking hell, where did you go on holiday?" My dreams. And so when you're used to that life, on those weird times where you might need some sugar or some milk, and you go outside and people are like actual people, like, you know, a little bit with a limp. And you'll think, "Oh my god, it's Armageddon, this is the apocalypse," when all it actually is real humans. And, you know, if you go to a bar in the real world, there'll be challenges that you've never practiced. In the old days, you'd learn all that at school and in social groups and at karate lessons or boxing lessons or the army cadets or the cubs. And you learn about how to work in groups and what your place in a group is and how to deal with dynamics, anger and desire and laughter. But those things don't happen anymore. So, you know, when it's like someone getting married, there'll be loads of people out and it'll just be like terrifying because you won't know how to do it. And in the end, people will stop doing it. Do we really have to have a wedding? I mean, we all went to Sonia and John's the other week. That fucking awkward, wasn't it? Horrible, really. Yeah, that all stop happening. So the outside, the real world, the actual world, will become like an apocalypse. When actually it's just the same as it is today. But it's now going to be competing with the hyper real world of the internet. Now, this is where it gets interesting, and this is where Baudrillard's comment, I'll read that out, Arclo, but this is where Baudrillard's comment, "AI lacks artifice, therefore intelligence," comes in. So, Arclo, nice one, mate. Hoit to that Ayrton Senna. I think one-off shot of AI ChatGPT Bard will be that folks will start to assume everything they see online is utterly fake. I'm seeing ripples of that already on Twitter. Yep, I think that's an interesting point. When it already you see an image and your first thought isn't, "Wow, look what so and so's doing." It's, "Is that real?" And then you'll see someone speaking, a video of them speaking, and you'll think, "Is that real?" But that won't be the next generation. That they won't care about that. Reality will go out the window because it lacks currency. You know, who cares? Who cares if it's real? You know, we've got governments to make our decisions for us. The governments and the corporations, they tell us what to buy, they tell us what to do. We don't really need all that. We don't need to know what's real. It has no impact on our lives. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Just carry on working. Nice one, Arklow. Hoyt to that. So, a lot of people have been talking about writers are going to be out of a job. Now, here's the thing. As I said, as a writer of literary fiction, but this is the case with all writers, I write textually. I write understanding language as a text. Now, here's the thing. As a post-structuralist, I think everyone does. Because there's no other way of doing it. If you start writing and you've written your first paragraph, a few years down the line, or a few months or a few weeks, depending on how fast you write, you're going to be writing something, you know, that's like 50, 60 pages away, that still connects to it, and there's all stuff going on in between. But here's what distinguishes humans from AI. We have an unconscious, which by definition, we're not conscious of it. It behaves for us, it acts for us, it does things for us, it says things for us, it behaves for us. It is part of us. This is why a lot of people don't like seeing themselves in photos, don't like seeing themselves on video, and don't like hearing themselves on recordings. Because it doesn't feel like them, doesn't sound like them, doesn't look like them. Because they're not getting their unconscious. Now, when you do a bit of writing, your unconscious is putting stuff in that as well. It's you're writing textual ideas that are linking up in different, I don't like layers and levels really, because that suggests that there's some up here and some down here, and it's not really like that. But some of my short stories, for instance, and some of my novel, when I read it back, links and connections have been made that I didn't intend. Like, no spoiler alert, but my novel taught me something about the story I'm telling, which is the opposite of what I thought the story was. That's a fact. You know, I knew what the story was. Bloke does this, this happens, this happens, this happens, roughly. There's loads of little stories in between. It's a picaresque. Right, I get that. Better get right in it. Brrr. But when I'd actually written it, it was the exact opposite. What motivated me, the outcome. And that wasn't a conscious decision. My conscious decision was to write a story about this, this, and this, and this, and this. And countless more, but, you know, we'll consider them like meta stories, and within them, you know, micro stories. But my unconscious got busy. My unconscious started putting other things in. And so when I read it back, like I've told you this before, there is a thread of Apocalypse Now that runs through my novel. And when I realised that, and I'm not joking, it's like the story of Apocalypse Now runs through my novel. When I read it, and it took about the fourth draft till I realised, I was thinking, hang on a minute, this is that bit and that scene. This is that bit. This is that bit. This is depersonalization. This is depersonalization of the enemy. This is the bit when the Playboy birds arrive. This is that bit. And once I'd seen that my unconscious had done that, I started adding to it consciously. There are direct quotes from Willard in my novel. And the character who the novel's about says them. Willard doesn't say them. Willard's not in my novel. But I just use his words because my unconscious gave me that material. I worked on it, and you know, I sort of built upon it. And it's not just that one example I gave you. There's countless. And even if you don't write like that, you cannot prevent your unconscious from threading those things into a text. You know, people don't make decisions to write whatever they're writing about. If they're writing about crime, if they're writing about fantasy, if they're writing about children's stories, whatever, it's never purely conscious, because as humans we are never totally conscious. And that comment that AI lacks artifice, ergo intelligence, while not strictly true, if we change artifice to unconscious, which has got some kind of textual relationship with the artificial, but artificial intelligence lacks an unconscious, therefore intelligence, you suddenly realise why AI will never be able to write great literature. It will never be able to write stories of worth, essentially because it doesn't have an unconscious. That's the interesting part of any book. And when you read a book, reading is really a process of writing. And when I read a book, I get something completely different, not completely, but significantly different to what you get. Because there's a dialectic going on between my life, my experience, my beliefs, my thoughts, my ideas, my desires, and the text. And that's going to be different from yours. A very simple example. Imagine you spent your life as a coal miner, and I didn't. Someone writes a book where the main character is a coal miner. We both read that book. It's the same book. Do you think that that's going to be the same experience for you as it is for me? Of course not. Because I haven't been a coal miner. Now, it doesn't mean it's a better or worse book for me or for you, but it's different. Now, that's a really clunky, obvious example. But we're quite simply different people with different experiences, different beliefs, desires, etc., etc. And AI hasn't got the ability to work with that, simply because it is, by definition, wholly conscious. It's wholly conscious. Now, in terms of its stealing reality that I was talking about earlier, this is where it gets moving away from literature now. Nice one, Vinny. Much appreciated. Good YouTube channel, this. Cheers, mate. Apart from the format and the content, but we're getting there. Now, hello, user unknown. You can't program an unconscious. You can't do it. How do you do that? How do you tell a computer to do something without knowing? It's not a thing. Like, a computer can't even generate a random number. Do you know that? You can't say to a computer, generate a random number. It can't do it. The old ZX Spectrums used to use a number of part of its CPU or something. It had to pick a number out of its processing. They can't make decisions like that. But you can't program a computer to not know what it's saying. Anyway, moving away from that, as a lot of you know, I'm in e-commerce, right? Now, remember what I said about you using Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, WhatsApp, you name it, or even going to shops, you know, websites, or any use of the computer, your email accounts. All that data is being sold and traded around the world to different people. You know, your data and your profile is being sold targeted. You know, we've got 20,000 people who fit your customer perfectly. You want to buy them, sweet, all that. Now check this out. This is where it's going with AI. Hang on, I need a big lug of my vape. It's nearly 4 o'clock in the morning. Get the grift on, please. Have I missed any? No, fortunately not. Hello, Rags. Hello, Manny Moo. Good to see you, Rags. Hello, Snoops. It's good to see you, man. Where is that Manny Moo? Hello, the one under. Nice to see you. Where's Manny Moo? I'll have to hit you up in a minute, Manny Moo. I can't see you. There he is, look. Hello, mate. Right. I see what you're saying, user unknown. And I get your point, but I don't, you know. So, you know, you use all that. So when you go to a website, already you're getting different adverts to your brother or your sister or your mate. So your experience of Facebook is different from theirs. When you search Google, because your profile is being used, you're going to get different searches come up than them, because they're trying to sell you stuff based on your profile. This has been going on for years. You know, I wrote to someone in the chat the other day. I said I'd been watching, I watched Easy Rider, and there's that song. What is it? It's like the weird, the sort of, the most psychedelic song in the world, most psychedelic song ever that kind of got lost. I can't. Someone might know the name of it. I can't remember at the moment. Thank you, Pax Max, you lovely bastard. There you go. The old 4 a.m. £5 eternal. Nice one, son. Now listen to this. That is now developing because of AI. That is now developing at an astonishing rate like you'd never have known. The first thing to know about marketing, know your audience, know your customer, right? There's a very, very famous story by one of the top marketers in the world. They couldn't get the London to Manchester train to go any faster. They couldn't get it to go any faster. The fucking thing was flying. And they were like, you know, how are we going to get more customers on it? Because at the moment it takes 3 hours, and we've nipped and tucked, and we've put better components, and it just can't go any faster. And this wizard of marketing said, if you can't make the journey shorter, make the experience better. Because people won't care about 3 hours if it's wonderful. They'll actually want it to go on longer. You could probably, if you improve the experience, you can actually probably slow the trains down and save a bit of money. And that happened. It worked. Their customers went through the roof. The quantity did. And then that's the kind of sly reality of marketing. Now, with AI, so let's say there's a website selling stuff for pets, right? Selling stuff for pets. Now, what I do as a e-commerce product sales copy writer, I write product sales copy. So I've got a new product. Let's say I've got a dog bowl that refills itself when all the food's gone. It waits an hour and a little flap opens up, put some more food in it. So if you're out for the day, the dog don't go hungry. And it's also got a base on it to stop it sliding all over the place. So first thing you do is identify the problem. The problem is not having enough food in your bowl and your dog's going to go hungry. The second problem is the bowl slides all over the place. So you're going to sell the solution. So that's what you do. What are the problems? Okay, well, how do they actually manifest themselves? Well, there's fucking food all over the place. The dog's chasing his dinner around the kitchen, ends up tilting it up, and every day I'm having to mop the kitchen floor because of all this. So that's what you actually tap into. You tap into, are you sick of mopping your kitchen floor twice a day? Because that's what people are sick of doing. And then in the next one, are you sick of having to reach up to that top shelf and know how much food to give your dog, and suddenly realizing that you're running out of food? You know, and you've got to zoom off to the shop at like midnight Thursday because you've run out of dog food. So you actually, that's the problem. People don't want to run out of dog food, and they don't want to have to get into their car and go to the supermarket, or the dog's going to starve. So with your flat thing, you measure it out first, you work out how much food's in the packet, and it will tell you when you need to buy more food. You'll get a message on your phone. You need to buy more food. You got 2 days before it runs out, and then the next day, bing, you got 1 more day. So blah blah blah. So you write all this copy, and then people read it, and you hopefully tap into solving their problems, and they think wicked, wicked, wicked. You tell them, well, you know, you're actually buying the rarest commodity, time. Because with this functioning correctly, you won't be mopping up all the time. You won't be feeding your dog all the time. You won't be running out and driving down to the supermarket at midnight. Effectively, you'll be buying 3 hours a week back of your life. One payment, 3 hours a week, 52 times 350 hours a year. Work it out over an average adult lifetime. You might be buying a year for $9.99. You don't say it like that because it's ridiculous, but that's the basics of it. But with Brick Dictator said, sounds like a case for a dog remover. Now, check this out. Imagine going to a website, and because of the processing power of AI, and because it knows what you've been doing on the internet for the last couple of weeks, when you click on that product, that copy is written especially for you. That product copy no one else sees. It has been honed and perfected, and it's perfect product copy for you, based on every bit of information they've managed to get off you of the last 5 years of your being on the internet. They know your weak points, they know your strong points, they know what you like, they know what you don't like, they know what you like doing, they know what you don't like doing. They've got a whole series of products you've bought. They've got a whole series of products you've put in the cart but didn't go to checkout. They've got a whole series of things that you've returned. They've got a whole series of things you've bought another one of, maybe as gifts. And that AI, based on all that information and based on the last 3 hours of your internet use, as soon as you click, oh, that looks quite interesting, click. Brrr. That copy didn't exist until you press that button. It is specifically designed to sell you and no one else that product. Now, on the face of it, everyone thinks they're above marketing, by the way. I'm not even looking in the chat. People go, oh, I'll buy what I need. I don't listen to that rubbish. No, bollocks. That's a lie. If marketing didn't work, they wouldn't pay people millions of dollars to do it. Trust me, it works. All right, it's a crazy argument, people saying it doesn't work. I mean, God. Just go and do some reading and you'll find out how much it works. But listen to this. Here's where it gets weird. Then they'll be changing the images. Because that photo of that dog bowl, that might not be a good photo to sell to you. Might not, older Joan who lives down the road, she might like a picture of that with a little sort of, what's it? I nearly said Durex puppy. What's it called? The toilet. I nearly said duplex puppy. You know the one I mean. Like a cute little puppy. Andrex. There you go. Like the Andrex puppy. Cute little puppy. Like on its bowl. Eee. But someone else might like a cartoon dog doing a little animation. Hello, mum. Hello, mum. Hello, mum. Based on their profile. But you might like a Viking with a big old two-handed sword and a bull terrier on a chain, you know, dribbling, like, you know, and a big battle in the background, and that little dog bowl at the bottom with like some raw steak in it. That might be what you want to see. So now the copy is for individuals. The picture is, you know, they just made that based on your profile. So now it starts getting a little bit weird, because let's go back to me talking about us not going out. Well, if we're staying in more, and the next generation are going to stay in almost all the time, they just will. It's going to take some severe... I'm not giving up on society, because this will collapse. This hasn't got legs. It has, you know, all empires die, and the digital empire will die too. But if we're not going out and we're inhabiting an internet that is individual to that extent, are we actually sharing a reality? Because there will come a time when you can go to I might want to watch a football podcast, but because they've got loads of information of football podcasts, when I stopped watching them, the ones I watched all of, ones I shared to friends on WhatsApp or Telegram, bits I watched a couple of times, YouTube channels may well in the future not have a video. There's no content there. It's just called something like the latest Arsenal news. And when I click on it, it's making the content live. And there's a bloke there, and it's the same bloke who was there last time. And he might even address me. You know, I wouldn't like that, but some people might. Hello, Chris. How's the writing going? And you can interact with it. But think about it. If I'm doing that and you're doing that, and then there might be a live chat, but they could edit out certain chats because they know I don't like that sort of stuff. They could add other chats of people who don't actually exist. Just fake people. I'm now watching a video with 50 other people in the live chat, and only 2 of them might be real people, me and one other bloke. But you don't know. You don't know that. And this video is being made live as we go, based on all the information they've got about what kept me looking at the screen the most. When did I turn off? Etc, etc. And when you've got an internet like that, and when the map and the territory are the same thing, we live in different worlds. We all live in different worlds. There's not a reality. There is out there, but our lives are going to be online always. And we won't be sharing them. When I say to you, oh, check it out, I found this wicked website, you'll really like it. Share. When you go there, it's not the same website because it's been tailored to you. So am I going to share websites anymore? I tell you what, man, the stuff that I have to keep a track of this stuff because it's the business I'm in. And the things that people are doing with AI and marketing and product copy and email copy, if I don't keep up with that, my business will disappear. My income will disappear. I'll have to move. I haven't even got an house in England to move back to. I'll be selling skeg on the dark web. So, you know, I'm not trying to be a doom spreader. These aren't necessarily negative or positive. At this stage, they're neither. But I would suggest you start thinking about them. And I would, you know, one of the top bods at Google, right? One of the top bods at Google. Quite a big company. You might have heard of them. He resigned, right, a while back. And he said on a chat on the internet, on a YouTube video, he said he wouldn't bring children into an AI world. He said some other very stupid things, but that kind of hit me. Mad Lizzie! Lady Godiva! Bit late in the day, I just wanted to say sorry to her about Mrs. Dangerfield. You're alright, Lizzie. It was, you know, inevitable, but it was a surprise, but it was inevitable. And I've been very lucky in a way with my parents. Neither of them suffered for very long. They got sick, and a couple of weeks later, it was all over. But thank you, Lizzie. No dramas. I am at a weird place with all that now because grieving is a weird place to be in. You know, there's many stages to go through, and when you think you're in one, you're actually in another, and you know, it's challenging. Nice one, Lizzie. Hope you're well. So what I would say, people, and I've said this at the end of a couple of other videos I made on AI. Give us a second. I'm going to play a different household song that you won't have heard before. Well, most of you won't. This is the thing that I would say. Keep up to date with it. Know what it's capable of. Know where it's being used. And know what they're doing with it. Now, at the very least, do those things. I would advise you, especially if you've got children, learn how to use it. Learn how to use ChatGPT. Get your kids knowing how to use it. It's not just write me a letter. It's all about the prompts. Mid-journey. It's not just make a picture of Donald Trump on a horse charging through the leftist wasteland. It's how you use it. It's how you engage with it is what makes it powerful. And if you don't, it will be worse, more negative for you and your family than not getting in with computing and then not getting in with the internet. All those businesses that went, digital photography is hardly going to take off. You know, people love a bit of emulsion. Really? How many photographers are using actual photographic paper now? 0.0000001% maybe? All those companies that said, nah, computers ain't going to affect my industry. Well, they're starving hungry now. If you don't keep up with the developments, and they are going, it is rapid. I mean, ChatGPT 4 is a miracle compared to ChatGPT 3.5. Bard, go and check out Bard. Bard makes ChatGPT look like Play School. It is going like that. And if you want for yourselves, it doesn't matter how old you are, but if you're in business, or if you've got a job, or you've got children, not understanding AI, not seeing it as important as being able to write and add things up, you're gonna be in a different class of people. You're gonna be the uneducated lumpen proletariat. And when you're there, you cannot generate wealth. I am now, as you know, I invest in stocks and that. It's not big money. I haven't got big money, but I do invest because I know long-term investments, putting 50 quid or 100 quid a month in 10 years, I could have 500 grand. That isn't that out of the question. Now, I'm getting ChatGPT to analyse the fucking stocks. Yeah. JC, who drops napalm bombs, $50 and $100 donations, he showed me this thing. where you get the page up of the stock, say Coca-Cola or whatever, you get ChatGPT to read it, then you tell ChatGPT to assess that in line with loads of other stock research papers and predictions, and you can now get AI to work out your investments on a level the same as the most well-funded hedge funds in the world. You've got the same power as them. If you can't generate wealth, you can't have choices because you're limited to what you can afford. And if you haven't got choices, your freedom is severely limited. And as we continue to hurtle down like a fucking comet, this AI world, that distinction between those who know and those who don't, I think is going to be the biggest class cleaving humanity has ever seen. It's such a powerful tool, and it's available to everyone. If you're threatened by it, if you're scared of it, if you don't want to know, if you think it's a load of rubbish, you're in trouble. You know, even the most simple things that you used to take for granted you could do, bloop, 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 bloop. You know, there will be people using AI to work out how to get their monthly groceries delivered to them, know which ones will last a certain amount of time, what stuff they throw out every month, what stuff doesn't get eaten, blah, 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 and end up saving something like 20 grand a year on food, you know, in an house of like 6 people or something. But even if you live alone, you might be able to end up saving a fortune a year just on food because you can get the computer to work it all out for you. Just by asking it a few questions. And then you can do that if you're buying cars. You can do that if you're oddities. You know, all this travel hacking. I talked to you before about travel hacking. There's people on those travel hacking websites who've never paid for an aeroplane for a holiday. They get free flights, free hotels, free chauffeur-driven cars from the airport to their hotel. You go to those travel hacking sites now. What's the one change from last year? How to get AI involved and optimize it even more. You know, you're struggling to get enough money to take your family to Swanage once every 5 years. There's people who ain't earning any money going on holiday twice a year for nothing. So I would just advise you to just understand it. You're sitting in front of a computer now. You know how to use the internet. You taught yourself how to do that. You know, I fear that, and I fear it's intentional. There is an intentional kind of negativity about AI, where they're trying intentionally, the usual suspects are trying to get working class people. Nah, I don't do all that shit. Nah, like investing. No, I don't do all that investing shit. I don't do all that AI shit. No, you stay in your place. You stay skint. And you don't need to. Because it ain't complicated. The fucking AI does it for you. You've just got to learn how to use it. And I beg you to not let it just drive past you. Because it will leave you well behind. Stephen Campbell drops an Ayrton Senna. Nice one, Stephen. Well, you seem to be doing well with the grieving, like you're in a new stage and there's a certain peace that comes from that or something. As I said before, Stephen, it was weird because the real grieving was... thank you, Stephen. It's an interesting comment and thanks for the donation. The real sadness has been, I mean, I said all this in a stream recently. The real sadness has been that I was never emotionally close to my mother. You know, she mothered me wickedly. She looked after me. You know, she saved my life, really, with the tackle and all that. And that's, you know, most mothers would have thrown their kids out the shit I put her through. And she didn't. Like Andrew wrote to me and reminded me of that. You know, every time I washed up back at her door, looking like a skeleton, warrants out for me, door getting kicked down, she'd always take me in and put up with all that shit. Scored for me, scored with me, sat there while I was trying to find a fucking vein. She even had people in the rehab centre saying, unless you stop looking after him, he's going to carry on doing it. You should chuck him out. They said that to her. And there's an argument for that. But she knows me better than them. And when I was actually stable and I could afford my gear, that's when I set my business up. And once my business was working, I could afford to go to an half-decent rehab and get clean. But the real sadness has been that my mother missed out on parenting. My mother missed out on love. She never learned, she was never taught how to love. Her mum and dad were alcoholics. And so she never knew how to love me emotionally. And that's sad for me, of course, but the whole thing's just a sad cycle. And hopefully I've broken that, but, you know. When I used to Skype my mum 3 or 4 times a week, she'd just watch telly. I'd just talk to her about things I was doing and she'd just be watching telly. And sometimes I'd just go, and then I put a slate on the ceiling and my legs fell off and a frog said, "Is this the way to the circus, Uncle Pedro?" And my mum would be going, "All right." Pissed out her head, just not paying. And then I'd go, "What's going on in your life?" And she'd be like, "Nothing." Why? Like it was an insult. So there's not a lot to miss there. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I miss those one-to-ones with my mum where she ignored me and and took offence to me daring to ask how she was. I think this has still got some legs, though. I think this grieving's still got some legs. There's loads of shit going on. Then I got the coof. Then I was migrained off for a while. I think, you know, there's a lot of it coming out physically, I think it's fair to say. But, you know, we'll see. I think the appreciation you feel for her and the credit you give is the best reward as a parent she could have asked for, and probably all she would have wanted. Consider that. Yeah, I think my mum knew what I thought about her and her me, and it was a very honest relationship, and that is worth more than an artificial relationship that looks better but isn't. Hello, Carl. Hello, Zeitgeist. What if you find AI boring? I've had a play with a few apps, but I lose interest within an hour. I just prefer the real world. Yeah, but you're on a computer now, Zeitgeist. I mean, you're not preferring the real world now, are you? You know, that's a fair argument, isn't it? It's a fair point. I mean, you could be out in the woods. You could be swimming in a river somewhere, climbing some mountains. And I'm sure you do occasionally, but I think, you know, look, I get bored. If I go to ChatGTP with nothing to do, I get bored. What do you do? What's better, communism or fascism? You know, we've all done that one. Okay, next one. Write me a poem about Led Zeppelin in the style of Shakespeare. Okay, those kinds of questions are about 0.5% of the power of those AI language models. You know, I would suggest, if you do get bored, guys, I would suggest having a look at some YouTube videos that actually go into the real power that's there. Because just asking it stupid questions, I don't mean just you, we all do it, but that isn't what it's good for. Why don't you have a look online and find some articles or some YouTube channels about investing? investing in stocks, and see how people are using Bard to invest in stocks. It's giving the likes of me, you and the rest of the scrubs unparalleled investment power. You know, that's when it starts getting exciting, maybe. You've just got to fight. It's not just, I'll answer a question. I find that boring. If that's all it was, I wouldn't be talking about it anymore. It'd be like Speak and Spell from the 70s. Bastard. B-A-S-T-A-R-D. Bastard. But it's just, and again, I think this is intentional. I think that they are deliberately trying to keep a whole class of people away from it. Don't worry about it. That's boring. It's all a load of fuss about it. It's all storm in a teacup. While the class who are absolutely jumping on it will be taking over commerce in about 10 years. And whatever industry you're in, if you haven't got that skill set, those abilities, you can't compete. It's impossible for you to compete. Like, I was talking to someone in HR the other day, and she said to me, it's all AI now. They are matching up people's applications for jobs with the job using AI. This used to take HR people hours and hours of meetings, second interviews, 1,000 people down to 500, down to 20, down to 5. But and the way they do it isn't what you think. They don't just go to AI and say, what's the best person for the job? What sort of person? No, they put their application in, and then they start asking, well, go and find that. You can find all of these things are out there, but it's not just asking it to do stupid things like write a Beatles song. I'm bored of that as well. Snoopy's dropped a bullseye. Boom. Nice one, Snoops. Make sure and tell me when to pre-order the novel. I want a case of them. Sweet. Deal. The bloke who told me how to game it so that you get an Amazon bestseller, that's what I'm going to need, really. I'm going to need at least he said, between 200 and 300 scrubs to pre-order it. And then he said, and then once you get your bestseller in that genre and it goes to the next one, you need about another 200, and then you get a number one bestseller, which he got with a book of blank pages. He only sold 49 copies. But from a marketing perspective, to have Amazon number one bestseller on your book, that's when people want to interview you. Even when they don't believe, even when they know it's a blag, their podcast, their YouTube channel. Today we talked to Amazon number one best-selling author Chris Dangerfield. Sounds a lot better than today we speak to unknown author Chris Dangerfield. It's just a little bit of fake social proof, but such is the world we live in. Nice one, Snoopy, and don't worry, when that novel's available for pre-order, you'll hear nothing else but that from me every stream, every 5 minutes. I can guarantee that. One thing I can promise is there will not be a lack of information about when that's available to pre-order. I can guarantee. Thank you for your very generous donation. Thank everyone for your donations. We are done, people. It's 4:15 in the morning. I've really enjoyed this. I'm sorry about all the... I don't know, a lot of you might not know, but this stream started once already. I was just sitting here and people were talking in the chat and I went, hang on, is this live? People were like, yeah. No, I deleted that one, but here we are. Look after yourselves, people. I'm going to play an household tune. It's one that you might not have heard so much, actually. It's quite a long one. How long is it, though? It might be too long. Now, you know, every time I play auto-tune, people say vocoder. And when I this one actually is a vocoder. Actually, I'm not going to play that one. Shit. I'm going to play... I'm going to play... Oh yeah, I'm going to play quite a soft and sad one. Look after yourselves, people. Thanks to everyone who donated. That's much appreciated. Thanks to Rags and the boy Craig for looking after the place. Look after yourself, Steve. You've got my email if you want to chat or anything. And most of all, thanks to all of you lot who keep coming back. It's a real privilege to stream and have people come. And as you know, just recently I've really needed it. So, yeah, much appreciated. And I'm not saying all this stuff to be an arsehole. I just think I like you lot, and I'm trying to... I think, you know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. And the evidence on a daily basis would seem to be supporting my position on this. So there. This is a really sad song, and I'm going to give it a go. But I will be muting my mic. Order. Move to the top. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Nice one, no cap Popeye. Have a last grift on the road. There's always the music grift, though, no cap Popeye. I'm always up for who can get the last grift in. Play away. Cheers, no cap Popeye. NCP. That was a close one, wasn't it? Here we go, people. This is a very, very sad song. Just let me know you can hear it, yeah? Can you hear it?
Butterfly
Oof. Thank you very much. I hope those donations went up on the screen. Thank you, Zeitgeist. That's an incredibly generous donation, and it's incredibly generous from everyone. I love that stream. I love streaming, and I love you lot. Bless you. I feel like I get a bit shitty about the AI stuff, but believe me, it comes from a good place. I want to make that clear. It's not me trying to say I know it. I'm in that industry, and I'm seeing how it's changing it. Like week on week, it's changing, and if I don't keep up, I'm screwed. And that is going to happen across all industries. It's just like the computer did, and like the internet did. What would be handy would be if I knew how to turn this stream off. How to end it. Oh, here we go. Look after yourselves, people. Hoita! Have I gone?